on my phone talking to Twitch
Attaboy.
chat.
That's not what you're doing on your phone. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Garitos forced to take the third base there, luckily zoned out of the natural by Showtime's little probe, being a little bit frustrating. But, you know, I feel like Zerg players don't care about this anymore. It's nice to force them over to the third, but Zergs at this point have had to deal with this for so long. I think they're just like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll take my third. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And so far, standard opening from Showtime. No proxies out of the map. Just going to drop that gateway down, block off with the Cybercore, and go straight into expansion. I like this.
Yeah, Cybercore first, maybe hinting towards a little bit of aggression here. That coupled with the fact that he has forced a natural to be taken at the third, it can lead to a lot of success here. And we used to see a lot of this for Glaver depth pushes. You'd go for the early block so that the Queens especially had a lot of distance to travel because creep could not be spread between the bases successfully. I don't know if we will see that from Showtime. It is very much a Showtime type of build, and I wouldn't be surprised to see 8 Lings being produced here by Garitos. That's a lot more than standard.
That's a lot more than standard, especially when you're forced to take that third base, because, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to grab the natural to connect everything. It's just a very easy way to sort of force your opponent into 3-base play. But yeah, Garitos going to go ahead and send these Lings across. And, you know, he may be thinking the same thing that Arctur was thinking against Raynor in game number 1, where he was like, look, I'm a little outmatched this game. This is a bit of a mismatch. Even I know this, you know? There's nothing wrong with admitting that Showtime is a hell of a player. And yeah, one of the best things I can do maybe is try and put some pressure on here with some Lings and some Ling speed behind it.
And this is completely unseen, right? To my eyes. I'm not wearing glasses, so I can't see anything. And there's even drones coming as well to buffer here. And the drones, what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to mineral walk through whatever is blocking the wall and get some damage. But nothing is blocking the wall right now. The Adepts trying to get desperately into position, and they are going to manage to do so. And I mean, that's it.
Yeah, there's not that much to say. Some probes being pulled off here from Showtime, which is nice to buffer a little bit more. They're going to take out these drones on the backside, which is really important because now they can build a pylon on the back. Now, the Cybercore is going to go down. Really good surface area by Garitos, but oh no, Shield Battery goes down. Super Battery. Oh, Shield Battery Overcharge going to save the Cybercore as well. And I think Showtime's in a great spot here. No more drones being produced, and Garitos knows it. Double G. Showtime grabs game number 1. That was a bit of a damp squib, if we're honest, Grant.
I've seen better games of StarCraft.
That's a very polite way to say it. That's a very diplomatic response to that game. I have seen better games of StarCraft.
So, any other opening, if the problem with this is, if Showtime had opened he'd never opened Zealot. If he'd have opened Stalker maybe to chase the Overlord, which was put out front almost as bait for a Stalker opening, we would have maybe had a different story. But Showtime is known as the Mauer, the wall, because he's very, very safe. He's very defensive. And if you had that battery, a lot of players would skip because he doesn't want to lose to any nonsense. Now, let's take a quick look at map picks because I'm kind of curious. I very much imagine... Oh, no, that was actually Garitos' map pick as well. Okay, I thought maybe that would have been Showtime's map pick and Garitos wasn't comfortable on it, but that was... We're now moving on to Showtime's map pick, and honestly, this could be quick. Really quick.
What, you seen a cannon rush? He's gonna just straight up...
No, not Showtime. I think Garitos may try and all in again, and I just don't... You're not going to break? You just can't break him, man.
Man, Grant, we should have negotiated a higher hourly wage for this cast. If these games are going to be over in 5 minutes each, we're only going to make about a nickel here. Dang it, we gotta talk to our agents and get a better deal here for these short games like this if Garitos does go for something super early again. Gosh darn it. Well, let's introduce the players quick in case you're right and something crazy does happen. It looks like Garitos saving up for... Hang on. Is he? Oh my god, he's doing it. Yep, we better introduce these players real quick. Spawning in the top left-hand side in the red, going for that pool first. Representing E-Punks and France, it is Garitos.
And his opponent in the bottom right, one of the greatest players Europe has ever had the pleasure to watch play StarCraft, representing BIG Esports from Germany. It's Showtime.
You know, Berlin has 2 major esports clubs.
Has the Berliner Esports Club and BIG, right?
Yeah, and both of them have StarCraft players. You'd think they could form some sort of alliance. and just be like the Berlin Bouncy Bears or something, and get all
If
their
they call
players under
themselves the
one roof.
Berlin Bouncy Bears, I will sponsor them personally. Not for a lot, but
All right, well, somebody clip that and send it to the owners of both Berlin International Gaming and Berliner Esports, and just let them know if they want to start a new club and have that hot grant money up behind them. Then that's all they have to do is name themselves Berlin Bouncy Bears. 8 more Lings coming out here, but the probe's going to see it this time, right? Even though Showtime's retreating, those Lings should get on top of the probe eventually. No speed though, because there's no gas taken right now, and this is really sick.
Okay.
But Showtime knows it's coming.
yeah, so this is kind of cool. The hatches come in here, and what that's going to do is it's going to be but the Zealot's already in the wall. Showtime's just adjusted, right? The point of the point of the hatch there was to block the wall from going down completely, but Showtime just adjusted to it. So, okay, what it does allow, no, this is what it's for.
Exactly.
It's going to allow better surface area here on the buildings. But as soon as a battery finishes, and the battery will... Oh, it's going to be close. Lynx might get in. First attack is on the way there. There's another building behind. This is already over. But we need to pretend it's not, because we're casters. The Psycho's starting to go down.
Brand. Casters don't actually do that often.
No, not at all.
StarCraft is a very... I don't know, I feel like I get a little defensive when people are like, oh, casters just pretend like the game's... No, StarCraft's a hugely complex game, and any small mistake could swing things easily. So, sure, Garitos snipes the Cybercore. Okay, he hadn't started Warpgate research yet. It'll delay his Warpgate a little bit, but already Showtime has that second Warpgate finishing up, and sure, his wall's a little wonky. Yes, he's trapped on one side of it until he can move some things over. His build's been a bit messed up, but honestly, Showtime's so far ahead in probes right now, and that natural down to pretty decent time, and it's going to slow Garitos way down. Just a bit of a flop there from Garitos. This could be a very, very quick series, Grant.
Yeah, Garitos has only just started mining gas as well, so even though you see the work count and go, well, he's ahead, but he's not that ahead, tech is a major thing. Warpgate has already started. We have no Zergling speed on the way. There's no sign of lair. There's no sign of anything. Finally, a double expand going in for Garitos. He's trying desperately to get some economy going, but he's now going to be very, very vulnerable because he has to cut corners to drone and catch up in tech. And Showtime, he can be quite a passive player, but I'm pretty sure he probably realizes he's in a great position. I like the spin in there, Creighton. That was nice.
Well, I was just going to say, Grant, does it bother you at all that the circle that indicates, like, on the map itself where the hatch is supposed to go
isn't the same size as the circle of the indicator?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and isn't even aligned to the same central point. Like, if it was a little bit larger but around it properly. So I was trying to spin and see if maybe it was a trick of, like, the camera.
No.
But no, it's just something to bother all of us out here who value order and neatness and symmetry. So I'm going to not think about that for the next 6 hours, because otherwise I won't have any skin left on the top of my arms. I'll be scratching them so much, worrying about why the hell that doesn't line up. But yeah, link speed on the way now to try and maybe get some more pressure. But does Garitos make more drones here, or does he just go from that third base? Well, yeah, okay, question asked and answered. I guess he makes some more drones here, going to saturate up those gases and maybe try and pull out of this economically. But rough spot. Showtime's Robo already down.
Yeah, Showtime's tech is great. You can see he's already adding a prism, and I imagine we're going to see a good amount of aggression coming out here from Showtime. Twilight Council coming down. He might go for glaives, but I would be surprised. We do see a couple of drones going down to a few adepts here, and even two drones right now is really big for Garitos. He really needs every drone he can get. Cancel here from Showtime too. One of those players who definitely has those stones to sit where he needs to sit. He will be... Oh my god, he's actually going to save one of these.
Unbelievable.
So it is glaives, okay. So glaives on the way. Prism will start up, as already finished even. So they cancel glaives and goes brilliant. Okay, that makes more sense to me, because the timing was so far off for glaives. And you really want to hit that timing with glaives. He may have seen the roach roaring, I'm not certain. Did the roach roaring get finished? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Blink is going to be better here, and I think we may see Showtime do... Oh, I love roach roaring. We may see Showtime do what we've seen players like Goblin and a couple of other Protosses do, including some of the Taiwanese, where they just make stalkers for like 10 minutes and eventually overwhelm the roach numbers, snipe the third. It's one of my favorite things to see. It's going to be an Immortal, so I'm already wrong, but...
It's the Creator Stalker push. I love it so
the Creator
much.
One, that's who I'm thinking of.
It's so frustrating, man. I remember casting one of the first games where he pulled that off and actually beat, I think it was DRG with it. God,
never know who's winning.
Yeah, well, because every time DRG would would morph in more roaches, Showtime would respond with stalkers. And then every time DRG was like, okay, stalkers, I'll get some zealots to surround the stalkers, or I'll get some zerglings to surround the stalkers. And Showtime was like, oh, you're doing zerglings now? Okay, here's some zealots. And the zealots would slice through them. And it was like this back and forth trade of efficiency for a long time. It was so cute. Really nice warp in here from Showtime. He's not even using the prism to get any more pressure on, just getting a couple of depths in, trying to draw some lings back to the main, slow Garitos down. But Garitos is having none of that. Look at this. He is moving across the map right now. And is Showtime ready for this, Grant?
No, not really. Hallucinate Colossus to get high ground vision. He has a lot of sentries, and he has the ability with 4 warp gets done to warp in 4 adepts very, very quickly. Zealot charge is not done. So I don't think Zealots would be the right answer. Now we see these lings coming in. The force fields will need to be good. This third's certainly in a bit of trouble here. There's a lot of sentries though. We do see a battery. That's going to be a big, big help to keep the Immortal alive. Because you may think Immortals kind of suffer against lings, but they don't. Now the force fields need to be good. That's a good start. We're going to see the Bios come down onto the army, not the force fields. Almost surprising. There's no prism here. The Immortal starts to fall. Super Battery's going down, but it's actually out of range here. And all of a sudden, Showtime's army's starting to get a little bit weaker, but all of the lings will go down eventually. And Showtime holds just.
Yeah, holds, and most importantly, doesn't lose any economy. Look at the units lost this game, guys. Couple of drones, couple of zerglings, but how many probes have gone down this game, Grant? I'll answer it for you, 0. Did you ever have teachers who did that? Like they'd study the Socratic method and they'd ask questions to the chat. And what you're supposed to do with Socratic method is ask a question and then wait for someone to answer it, even if it's wrong. You wait for them to answer. Is it Socratic or anyway? I forget.
I haven't got a bloody clue what you're talking about. What the frick is a Socratic method?
There's a teaching style where you want to.
StarCraft.
I know, but where you ask a question. And then you just wait for an answer. I had a professor who would do that, where he would not say another word once he asked us a question until someone ventured an answer. And then you can go from their answer to the next thing.
That's smart.
And so
I like it.
I had one teacher who did it really well in college, but I had a high school teacher who did it, but then would get frustrated when we wouldn't answer and would just like answer himself right away. So he'd be like, how many probes has he made? 0. What's he going to do? He's going to move across the map. Is he ahead on upgrades? Yes, he is. Is he building a second robo in a robo bay? You better believe it. What's he going to build after this? Disruptors.
Something's going on.
You hate it, don't you?
No, I don't know if you've just seen it, but this is a whole load of drop overlords that have just been made. 4 have just been made and filled. So it looks, I mean, I kind of like it. It's going to get scouted. Oh,
is he building 6 drop overlords? Yes, he is.
Yeah. Is this game about to get bloody weird? Yes.
I was gonna wait and see if. All right, so this 4th base has been spotted now from Showtime, but he is way out across the map right now, and he's retreating for his life. He cannot afford to get caught out right now. Picking up some of the valuable units in the Warp Prism and moving him back here. He's got to retreat to the high ground. There's no shield battery at the 4th base right now, though, of course, there's no Nexus either, which means he's got to count on shield battery overcharge at his 3rd base to try and save it. But there's a lot of surface area right now for Showtime to defend, Grant.
Yeah, we've got that big surround coming in. Garitos is really trying to make this work. He rolls in from the south. The Banelings are so good. Banelings in the north, though, getting those big connections. All the sentries go down. All of a sudden, Garitos is up in army supply. Can he make this happen? The Immortals dodging, dancing for their lives. A few Stalkers left alive. I think there's going to be just enough. More Banelings, though, roll in. Legs, go! They're going to connect with some of the Stalkers here. I can't believe he didn't go.
Oh, Garitos, half committing and a half commitment in StarCraft is worse than no commitment at all, Grant. Look at this. He's trying to build more roaches, but this spots Showtime just enough time. Colossus are out. Should see a shield battery going down to that 4th base. Yeah, 2, 3 of them going down to that 4th base right away. Garitos going to change his tack and try and attack here into the 3rd base, using all the Banelings on the shield battery. He will finally get some of those probes, which is 15? Nice. Yeah, but he's still barely ahead in drones, and Showtime has Colossus out now. So even though he's lost that economic advantage that he had, he's working on Colossus number 3 right now, getting more sentries out. I think he's doing really, really well. 4th kind of stuff. I mean, what are you going to do?
It's really tough when you're playing against a player of the quality of Showtime to really be decisive and to go, okay, this is what I need to do to kill him. Oh my god, he's going to commit more to Dropper-Lords.
What does the first Dropper-Lords do? Nothing.
He just brought the army across the map with them.
Oh, jeez.
Just like-
What a goofball.
Literally, they were an Uber. They were a Ravager Uber.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Shield, so we got Dropper Lords now filled up with, it looks like Banelings? No, roaches. Oh my god. 8, 9, 10, 11 roaches in these Dropper Lords steaming toward the main right now. There are 2 stalkers here, but a quick orbit from Showtime should be able to snipe them out of the air. Even if 11 roaches get down, Showtime should still be able to defend.
What? No, you can go! Okay, he's going to lead with the Overlords that are empty. We have a Warping coming in, but the Colossus have already back. And the 3 Colossi, they actually do not have extended thermal lamps, which is a bit of an oversight here. Another chunk of workers going down as the army has been pulled out of position. And Garitos is going to back off, knowing that maybe he picked up a win, but behind this, he still has no bloody drones. He has no upgrades. It's +2 to +0. And armor is going to be finished very soon here. Showtime with a counter-attack as well. There's a Hydra Den and no Hydras. It looks like, although Showtime certainly took damage, he's just doing a great job.
Yeah, Garitos has been investing in some really, really nice plays. Pardon me, some really, really nice plays. They've been at the risk of stealing the other player's name. They've been really showy plays from Garitos, right? He's been putting on a good show. But they haven't been the most effective trades yet. He hasn't really found any damage. Showtime's still on 4 bases. Showtime back up to 75 probes. And now he can just march across the map. And A-move is the wrong word for what he's going to do, because he still does need some control against these Banes and stuff. We see 24 more Banes on the 25 Banes total coming down. But it's just not going to be enough, I don't think. It's going to take a big army miscontrol from Showtime for Garitos to really be able to do this with half the workers.
Showtime can super go right now, and I don't know if he quite realizes where he's at positionally in this game, because of course he is up 50 supply. It's mainly in workers, but his army is so good. And Garitos is trying to tech up to Lurkers. He's finally producing his first Hydras now, but of course Lurkers are a long way off. We do have a pretty good surround attack coming from Garitos. Very, very cool attempt here, but it isn't going to work. And now the Colossus, even without extended thermal lance, are just going to offer so much DPS here. The kiting from Showtime is phenomenal. Just stutter stepping perfectly. And now he's going to storm forward. He doesn't have a prism? Question mark? He does. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, it's okay. It's over to the left side. Using to reinforce with Zealots here. But it looks like Garitos is going for it. 7 Lurkers on the way. Are they going to be done in time here, Creighton? I'm not so sure.
You know, I'm not so sure either. There is one observer already on the map with this army from Showtime. So as the third base, he's going to lose the observer actually to that Spore Crawler. Big loss there from Showtime. The Lurkers could be huge here.
Yeah, the Lurkers are going to burrow up on the high ground here, and I imagine Showtime will be content with just backing off. I mean, he's now playing against a less than 1 base player. He's going to catch a couple here of the Lurkers trying to burrow. Showtime at this point is on 5 bases, or just about to be. He's adding on a Stargate. He's going to pick up a couple of cannons. +3 is close to being done. As soon as he gets a few observers, and you can see he's producing 2 at a time, he'll just be so content. It is pretty bad to not have extended thermal lance at this point here as a Protoss player. You really do want that against Lurkers so you can max range them.
Right.
But he just has so much.
Yeah, Garitos may feel like he's doing really well here, but of course he is just buying some time, sort of waiting out until Showtime can get those observers to the front lines. A couple nice corrosive bios still keeping Showtime back, but these Lurkers just not going to be as effective as he'd hoped. Now the observer's here, and the Lurkers are going to start going down bit by bit. These Colossi are going to start tearing through the entire army of Garitos. Good game.